What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, I don't really feel like there was a large portion of the MCU fanbase who really thought that when the Infinity Saga ended, that Infinity War and Avengers Endgame were the last Avengers movies we would ever see, and it would only take a little while before the top brass at Marvel Studios like Kevin Feige assured us there were Avengers movies in the future. But that is a legitimate question after Avengers Secret Wars when we enter presumably the Mutant Saga, where you would expect when we get to a big crossover, should it be the Phoenix Saga, Age of Apocalypse, or something else, it would be under the X-Men title and not the Avengers. And then where does that leave a franchise that Marvel Studios has invested billions with a B in over the series of 2 decades? Well, today we're getting an answer for exactly how they're going to handle that and what the end of the next Mutant Saga might look like, what that title might be. We're also going to talk about that in context of recent rumors about Wolverine versus the Hulk, because incidentally, it adds a lot of clarity there too. We're breaking it all down, this latest update of what Marvel Studios is going to do with the Avengers title and during the end of the Mutant Saga. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, guys, we do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next couple are right around the corner to coincide with Spider-Man and Captain America 4. Again, all you got to do be a sub, leave a comment. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so according to the latest update from Industry Insider and the anonymous Twitter scoopster My Time to Shine Hello, apparently the next saga, the Mutant Saga, as we've all been calling it until Marvel Studios officially names it, is going to end with an Avengers versus X-Men title. And this is exactly how you solve the problem of doing a quote-unquote Avengers movie during what's supposed to be the X-Men crossovers. Now, there are going to be some major teams introduced in the future of the MCU, one this year with the Thunderbolts, another in the Midnight Suns eventually down the road after we get the first Blade film, but none of them will be as big as, say, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and especially for the X-Men. So I think there was a legitimate question about what Marvel would do now going forward with major crossovers. You've invested so much money into the Avengers titles that it's become known as a huge Marvel crossover. What do you do during a Mutant Saga when it should be the X-Men title? You put both titles in the movie is exactly what you do and make it Avengers versus X-Men. Now, this still doesn't solve the problem of what you do with, say, an Age of Apocalypse crossover even further down the road. It won't be Avengers Age of Apocalypse. That just doesn't sound right. But for now, you can clearly see Marvel's plan to capitalize on both titles. And because from a bottom line standpoint, the Avengers title just means too much to Marvel and movie fans. They know what to expect from that, and you don't want to lose the possibility of that sort of interest and that bottom line on your film if you're going to spend $500 million to do a major Marvel movie. So I think there's a real chance here that there's still Avengers titles going forward. They just find a different way to rework them. In the meantime, we had been hearing about an Avengers versus X-Men title for the better part of a year. For a while there, a lot of industry insiders were convinced that that's what was going to replace Kang Dynasty, but it makes a lot more sense for Marvel to now focus on Doctor Doom, build him up as the villain for Secret Wars, instead of give us an Avengers versus X-Men when we don't even have an X-Men in the MCU yet. And so the old adage where there's smoke, there's fire might still apply, as Marvel Studios may have been discussing it internally, but looking way further forward as it to end the next saga instead of be something they wanted to do in their immediate purview. Now, speaking of which, we just got an update about the Hulk versus Wolverine, as we're all anticipating this matchup in some future films. There was a lot of speculation that a future World War Hulk film is the place that would happen, or even in a Hulk vs. Wolverine film. And if you missed our latest video on an update from Cryptic HD Qual, I'll make sure to link it at the end of this. In the meantime, it makes a lot of sense they didn't show us Hulk vs. Wolverine and during that part of Deadpool, because they were saving it for an Avengers versus X-Men movie where we could see the likes of those matchups all play out. That's what Marvel Studios was most likely back-pocketing that for. So if you're one of those people who really wants to see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine versus the Savage Hulk, that's where it's going to happen. And it also gives us time to have Hulk revert from the smart Hulk form so that we can get the matchup that we're hoping to see, because Wolverine versus Professor Hulk just won't feel the same. Now, at the same time we're trying to guess exactly what the lineup for the X-Men might look like early on in the MCU, we're going to have a whole saga to get to this conflict. But I think a better question is, what in the world are the Avengers going to look like by the time we get to that point? I think there are some obvious additions and subtractions. We might have, say, Hercules replacing Thor. We might have some other sorcerers like Clea replacing Doctor Strange as a part of the extended team. But where's the Iron Man where is the Captain America? Would it still be Sam Wilson's Cap by the time we get there in the next 5 years? Would we have a recast for Steve Rogers and a recast for Tony Stark so that they are classic members of the team? And I think there are so many questions we're going to have between now and then as to what that looks like. But between now and then, we have 2 huge Avengers films in front of us, and we still don't know what the lineup looks like. So questions for another day and way, way down the road. And I think that's really the thing to remember as we can daydream about the distant future of the MCU, is that there's still so much exciting story in front of us that they're going to tell, that we could have speculation about that forever and what that movie might look like. But there's no telling who will even be on the Avengers team, let alone the X-Men, by the time we get to that point. And that could be, given the current timeline they did from the end of Avengers Endgame to when we're going to get Secret Wars, 2035 or 2036 before that comes out. And man, I don't even want to think that far ahead. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. Yes, I know it depends on the lineup and who they're rolling with, but who you got in a fight? X-Men versus Avengers. The lineups are so contingent on this because of the matchups and who would take out who and who can handle who. I still have to give the edge to the X-Men. Maybe I'm biased and maybe you guys will have a different opinion about that, but let me know. Just classic lineups minus 1 or 2. Who you got, Avengers or X-Men, down in the comments. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Guys, we are still giving away PlayStations at the channel, and for every single Marvel drop that's going down this year, 6 TV shows, 3 movies, 9 PlayStations. That's if they don't add an extra show in there, and that's over the next, say, 10 months. If you want to be entered to win, or for any of the other future giveaways, all the same rules will apply here at the channel. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. One other thing I'm going to talk about at the end of some of my videos this year is that I have some huge plans to expand here at the channel. I'm also writing a book right now, but I'm recording my follow-up EP for my first for my band. For those of you who've been supporting my music through the channel, I cannot thank you enough. We have a ton of monthly listeners on Spotify and on YouTube. Really reaching a lot of you guys with my music is a dream come true. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already checked out my music, but you want to support me as a content creator, click through the links down. I'm going to have them linked at the top of the description, both to Spotify and YouTube, either or. Even if the music isn't for you, just interacting with it by clicking it helps the algorithm send it to people who will like it. So, you know, I understand music is so subjective, and this day and age, it's really hard to solicit people and be like, hey, check out my song. It's all good if it's not for you. I totally understand. But supporting me as a content creator by clicking it is a huge help, and Spotify is really rewarding outside traffic right now. So there's a link down in the description, Spotify, YouTube, for my tunes as I'm recording a new record over the next 2 weeks. Don't worry, guys. I'll still be putting out content. My editor will be on point. We'll have videos at the channel. In the meantime, to everyone who supported me here at the channel through my music and really in every fashion, I cannot thank you enough. You're the reason I do it, and it means the world to me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.